We are here with Garth Rowswell, MLA for Vermilion, Lloydminster, and Wainwright. Thank you for being here with us.
No, thanks for having me, you bet.
Thank you. So you were just in Calgary, right? You were doing some
Yes,
stuff
we had a caucus meeting. It was a surprise one.
Yeah.
We wrapped up our session, and about, I think it was on the Wednesday of that week, they said next week we're in Calgary for a 3-day caucus.
Wow, so. And a whole day of not coffee, not eating?
Oh yeah, the one day was, we started at 9, we had a working lunch, no coffee breaks, and we were still talking at 4 o'clock.
Wow,
so it was a busy day.
Yeah, and so much to cover, obviously.
Yes, yeah.
So many things happened for 2019. Obviously, you were in assumed office in April 16th of this year. Let's talk a little bit about the highlights. Obviously, a lot has happened, but a lot of bills were passed as well too. Let's talk a little bit about the highlights this year.
Well, highlights, for me in the spring session was just learning the ropes, and I felt I was more productive or effective in the fall term. So we passed a lot of bills, apparently, like we passed 16 bills this fall, which what they tell me is a lot. And the areas that were probably most relevant to this area is in agriculture. We passed new trespassing laws where the fines will be greater, and that was prompted by the protesters that went on that turkey farm down in Fort Macleod. And so there's really large fines and for individuals, and even larger ones for organizations if they're represented. And so we just want to protect property rights and biosecurity on farms. So that was part of it. And then getting more police out there and giving more responsibility to wardens and sheriffs to try to get more policing available to help fight the rural crime issue.
And I think that was a big discussion in terms of a lot of Lloydminster people talking about that, and farmers as well too. And what are some of the other bills that you guys passed?
Well, from the Farm Safety, Freedom and Safety Act, it was, we promised we'd do that and get rid of Bill 6, and this was Bill 26. And so we made it so that there was a lot of consultation that went on across the province, and they came to Vermilion and spent an afternoon there with a group of about 35 farmers, and it was really productive. Like, the farmers really were engaged and really good conversations. So the result of it is, I think we got something that'll fit farms and not over-regulate them.
And so good for you, because you were a owner of a fertilizer business and a financial advisor. So these things are really working in your favor in terms of really working these.
The farmers, I understand. I think I understand farmers, and I've got a feel for the problems they got, and I had really good conversations with them. And the report so far, they're pretty happy with what we've done there.
And the carbon tax, I think we talked about that a little bit, but let's talk a little bit about that. Obviously, you had plans to remove that, and how's that going?
Well, good. We removed it, and then we replaced it with technology and innovation emissions reduction program. And what it is, it went after heavy emitters, and as long as you stay below a certain level, you're fine. If you go above it, you pay a fee. And what was important there is that the federal government recognized that, or gave us equivalency. So they say, okay, well, we're not going to regulate you on those because we consider it equivalent. And they did. Now, that doesn't mean that they aren't going to try to bring in their retail carbon tax in January 1st, but we do plan to fight that if they do. So we've had some good success with getting some recognition of some of the stuff we're doing, and maybe not taking the load off of the federal. Some of the industries told us, look, if we're going to give money to a government, we'd rather give it to a provincial government than a federal government.
For sure.
So that was it was done with the blessing of the industry.
Of course, and we talked about the Energy Center, right?
Yes, the Canadian Energy Center. So that's in the campaign it was called the War Room. And so that's what it's called now, the Canadian Energy Center. And it just got going. So, but what it's designed to do is to push back on foreign-funded interests coming in and trying to landlock our oil. So we're doing that type of thing. The other one is the curtailment with regards to oil. And we made some really good, Sonia Savage, the minister, has just done a great job. Industries would come and talk to us, and they said, you'd have a bigger impact on employment in the oil industry if you took or exempted conventional oil from curtailment.
Interesting.
Because it takes more people to do that as opposed to oil sands.
For sure.
And we did that.
Beautiful.
And so hopefully that shows its way in more employment.
Yeah, and so much going on. What are you looking forward to in 2020?
Well, it's what Jay Sketty, what he told us, he said, talking to some media, and they were saying, boy, you're just passing lots of laws and stuff, and he says, well, you ain't seen nothing yet. So it looks like we're going to be very, very busy in the new year.
Yeah.
We do have another budget coming in the spring, because that's traditionally when it gets done.
Yeah.
And so that's what he's promising us. So I think we'll be very busy.
It'll be good. Okay, well, we're running out of time.
Sure.
Thank you so much for being here.
Okay, thank you.
Lots happening.
You betcha.
Okay.
Thanks.